I really didn't expect to have fun here. The Korean DMZ is one of the most heavily fortified borders on Earth, so on a day trip from Seoul, I thought I'd be learning about the history and the tension. Instead, somehow, we had a really good time, which left me with this weird sense of guilt, because just across that border lies one of the most brutal totalitarian regimes the world has ever seen. So, in this video, I want to show you that irony and all the little moments that were absolutely great, but made my propaganda senses tingle.
Good morning. It is just about to be 9 o'clock. We are today going to go to the wonderful country of North Korea. Nah, we're going to go to the DMZ. Bro, last night, the walls in our place are legit paper thin, and until 5 o'clock, these guys downstairs were yapping. So, moral of the story is, if you come to Seoul, just get a hotel or something with insulation. Anyway, we are on our way to Myeongdong station, and then we're going to drive about an hour north to the DMZ and all the stuff around it. Yeah, so catch on the train.
So we booked this tour on Klook, and funnily enough, there were like a million different options. That's when I realized just how popular this tour actually is. We went for the half-day version, skipping the suspension bridge and the river cruise that usually get packaged in. We just wanted to see the real core of it. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, and I think still to this day, the Joint Security Area, or the JSA, is off limits due to like rising tensions. That's the building where Trump famously met Kim Jong-un for that handshake. Anyway, our first stop was about an hour north of Seoul to a peace park just above the rural city of Paju, about 7 kilometers away from the military demarcation line.
Bus 1150, please. 1150.
We finally get to be people that follow the flag lady.
We're gonna go there and I will tell you about the Mandela place.
So this park was built in 1972 as a memorial, or more of a consolation park, for those who had been separated by the war. Our tour guide talked us through the Freedom Bridge, a former railroad bridge over the Imjingak River. It was once used to repatriate prisoners of war and returning soldiers after the armistice. You can still see it, but you can't cross any deeper into the restricted area.
Interesting. I got a question right. Yeah, there was back in the day. There was this attempt where they could like try and reunify communications between the two countries, and they like people send messages across on TV and shit, and like people would wait in line all day to be able to do it, and then one day it stopped for some reason, and then they just were never ever able to talk to them ever again. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, well said. So we had some time to free roam, and despite me trying my hardest to explain this extremely nuanced topic from memory, the first exhibit we came across actually explained exactly what I was talking about. In 1983, South Korean television aired a show called The Search for the Dispersed Families. It started small, a few people on air hoping to find relatives they'd lost during the Korean War, but what followed was one of the most emotional moments in modern Korean history. Thousands of people flooded the KBS station with old photos and handwritten signs. The show ran live for 138 straight days, reuniting families who hadn't seen each other in over 30 years. 10 million people wrote in, 10,000 families were reunited, and an entire country stopped to watch to remember what the war really took.
Yeah, that show's crazy, eh? Also, the fucking trash thing. Recently, I'm not sure if you saw in the news, but North Korea flew like their trash over, balloons full of shit and trash. So apparently the South have just been blasting K-pop at them ever since, trying to unbrainwash them, I guess. You tell them, sister. I don't even know what's going on there. Sounded incredibly dramatic.
Fuck that.
Was it a Christian thing?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
quick review of that. Was it a God thing?
Yeah,
or was it a
it is.
unification of Korea thing?
No.
Or was it a God please unify Korea thing?
It's American Christians.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the girl speaking is like Korean American.
Right. There's an element of tone deafness when it comes from Americans.
How are they allowed to do that?
I don't know. I wonder if they are. Little fun fact tidbit for you guys. See that Super Viking there? This theme park, the lady was saying it's about like bringing the youth to this area so they can like learn vicariously through being in the area. But also, most importantly, Spanian was there. We let you. So 11:13, bite to eat, spinny spin on the spinner ride. I'm keen. Can you see that? There's like gondolas over there going over a barbed wire fence. Couldn't tell you what for. Ready for a little haul? Little chicken breast sandwich, North Korean style. That's good. Also, it turns out that area over there, that's like the start. Is it the start of the The DMZ.
Start of the zones. I don't know if the DMZ
We started the zones where you shan't pass. So it kind of feels a bit wrong. Eating food, having lunch, and like just gazing upon potentially like what's on the other side is just like starving children. Don't know how propagandized that is these days, but
This side is the South Korean side though.
yeah.
It's still South Korea.
Yeah, I know, but eventually in yonder there are starving people, and we were just having good scran and coffee, and I'm like, it's too watery.
After food, we wandered over to Pyeonghwa Land, just on the other side of the car park. Now, I know what you're thinking. What on earth is a theme park doing at the DMZ? And at first, I couldn't agree more. But it turns out there's a reason behind it. Its name translates to Peace Land. It's a small amusement park with pirate ships, carousels, roller coasters, just sitting like a few kilometers from one of the most militarized borders on Earth. It was built back in the 1980s as part of a push to make the DMZ area feel more hopeful, a place where South Koreans could visit, remember lost families, and still smile. And I guess it works. But between you and me, don't you feel it feels like a bit of a capitalist, like, fuck you to North Korea? Still, nothing beats a pirate ship.
That was so close. Where are they getting on? Perfect timing.
That's okay, on time.
Made it just in time, eh? So apparently we all had to get our passports out because some military bloke is about to hop on and check all our passports.
Execution spot.
Yeah. Maybe take a
Details
photo.
don't line up.
Yeah, but you can't take photos or videos of them.
Alright, so we're heading into sensitive waters, making our way up to Mount Dora, to the Dora Observatory. In 2024, a brand new 3-story building opened with an indoor amphitheater, a cafe, and a rooftop with binoculars and whatnot. When we got there, one of the first things we were told was no photos across the border. Turns out, the rooftop has been closed for over a year, part of tightening security thanks to slumping tensions between North and South. Luckily, Will had been here before, so I can insert that footage and show you what's on the other side. Basically, this observatory was built so you can see across the DMZ into the North Korean territory. Farmlands, mountains, the city of Kaesong, villages inside the DMZ like Daeseong-dong, and the suspicious city of Kijong-dong. Officially, North Korea calls Kijong-dong the Peace Village, claiming it houses a few hundred residents living prosperous, idyllic lives under socialism. But it's widely believed to be an empty show village built in the 1950s after the Korean War, as a part of early Cold War propaganda. Apparently, through the binoculars, you can kind of see there's no real glass in the windows and it looks a bit like a movie set. This is also where the speaker battles were fought. North Korea blasted messages praising Kim Il-sung, promoting defection to the North and condemning capitalism. South Korea retaliated with K-pop and pro-democracy broadcasts from their side. Allegedly, these broadcasts stopped during peace talks, but after North Korea selling balloons of trash and manure over the border back in May 2024, the K-pop is back on. Oh yeah, there was also this infamous flagpole war. In the 1980s, South Korea erected a 100-meter flagpole flying a massive South Korean flag. North Korea obviously responded with an even taller 160-meter pole, one of the tallest ever in the world, flying a 270-kilogram North Korean flag. It's an iconic and almost comically literal example of the tit-for-tat propaganda rivalry.
Well, that was voyeuristic. We're not allowed to take photos and videos in there, unlike what it was last time, which is a bit annoying, especially for this video, but jeez.
Last time I was here, we were allowed to go up on the roof and stuff. Have good binocular stands and shit up there, so you can see super far out. And see people up close and shit as well.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird. It's like a human safari.
Yeah, the concept of that is so unhuman. So they were telling us that there's a abandoned city / town. Cities aren't really cities. That's got painted windows and doors. I'd like to see how valid that is and if there's any evidence of that. It seems so you can see through it straight away. What's the point? Also, it's like the interview when they had the fucking oranges and shit in that fake fruit store. Because it sounds so propagandized. I don't know. Anyway, we've got to walk down to this place. We've got to be at the bus for one. Because we're going to go to the third tunnel. And guess what? You can't film in there either. What the fuck?
Okay, so next was the short trip to the third tunnel. First, we watched a video about the history of the war and the birth of the tunnels, which honestly felt very Americanized.
On June 25, 1950, the invasion of South Korea by the North began with earth-shattering sounds of artillery. Although Northern...
It would be so annoying we didn't have English as a native language. That would have just been so difficult.
Yeah. Weird presentation, eh? I remember walking out of that last year.
It seems so propagandized.
It just seems very American.
I'm suspicious.
Basically, this is one of 4 known tunnels built by North Korea under the border, presumably for a surprise invasion into South Korea, the idea being to move troops underground. After its discovery, following the explosions heard in 1978, South Korea found it and built a tunnel to intercept it. Now, it's a tourist attraction that you can go in and explore. Like pretty much everything here, photography is strictly prohibited. You have to empty your pockets into the provided lockers and pass through metal detectors before putting on your helmet and making your way into the tunnel. I obviously won't be able to show you what it's like down there, but imagine a 350-step steep descent, gradually getting more and more humid and less breathable. Then, you crouch and crawl carefully not to hit your head on the rocks, squatting through 265 meters of tunnel. The walls are wet, dripping with water, and voices echoing all the way down. From memory, once you get to the end, there's a room you can peek into through a slit in the wall, full of vegetation bathed in red light. It's a glimpse into the DMZ's untouched nature, and it kind of felt like post-apocalyptic, kind of like The Last of Us. Anyway, that whole experience took about 45 minutes, and as you can see, I'm completely soaked.
That was worth it. You have to duck constantly as you walk. Me and Will were just pretending to be gorillas, or walking like this. Nearly headless Nick vibes. Sweaty, obviously. Apparently after this we go to a village. Still got 25 minutes of free time, so finna catch a vibe. Sorry. I know we just took part in all this, but
We're in the DMZ, but
yeah, it's just so weirdly touristy and positive for suppression and totalitarianism and whatnot. Anyway,
I guess it's celebrating.
Get it?
I think that kind of sums up my experience here at the DMZ. From there, we took the bus to the gift shop, of all places, where you could buy a piece of the wire fence from the DMZ. I'm in no way, shape or form trying to stick up for North Korea, but it does feel like the South Korean side of the border isn't innocent of their own tactical propaganda. And look, I'm definitely not saying it's apples for apples. I'd way rather this than systematic oppression under a totalitarian regime, but it does feel weird. Weird to be so, positive standing somewhere so close to so much tragedy. I remember wondering while I was there that if we're so critical of the North for their propaganda, what narratives am I absorbing here without realizing it? Ironically, the actual DMZ, the land neither side has set foot on since the war, has become an unintended, sanctuary. Nearly 6,000 species thrive there, including 100 endangered ones. In a sense, where the fighting stops, life flourishes. We still had a bunch of time left in Korea and got up to heaps, but this was the video I really wanted to make from Seoul. If you want to see what else we got up to, I'll be posting a bunch of short form stuff over on my socials. After Seoul, we catch the train to Busan, and after narrowly surviving the zombies, we spend 24 hours in the city to see how much we could possibly get up to before catching the overnight ferry back to Japan. So like and subscribe, and I'll catch you over there.
That was a big day. I think it is time to go relax at home though, eh? I'm hungry.